unfold life with each breath and each step that we take. Right, Karen?
Hallelujah.
Did I hear you say hallelujah? I have a thing about halo, and we'll talk about this in a few minutes. For right now, I'm going to open the show, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
We're going to fly. Here we go. Halo, and thank you for stopping, looking, and listening in our divine appointment here today. I'm Sandra on another episode of Angels Talk. That's right here, calling you from the #1 access station in the nation, Angels Talk Soul Relationships, here today with Karen Taylor Good. Hi, Karen.
Hey, Sandra.
How in heaven did you get the name Karen Taylor Good?
Oh, my. Well, I used to be Karen Taylor, and then I met Mr. Good, which is a lot like meeting Mr. Right.
I was wondering about that when I was centered in my truth in the audience watching your seminar today. How inviting to any soul out there.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I think I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
I think you're on divine purpose, Karen. I really think you are. And you know why I think, and I'm going to tell everyone out there, is because I've got the book right in my hands. It's called On Angels' Wings. Want to tell us about that?
Sure. It's, I am a songwriter, Grammy nominated, she said. And so there's 14 songs in the back, and each one of the stories relates to one of the songs. Actually, how it came to be written, or there's a song about my daughter, there's a song about my parents. They're real life stories for adults, actually, for grown-ups. And of course, it centers around On Angels' Wings.
That's right. In a few minutes, I'll be showing a portion of those. One of the things that I was most interested about when you talked first of all, let's tell everyone where we are.
Yes, we're at Unity Church of Overland Park in Overland Park, Kansas.
I'm on tour. I'm on tour this week, and I don't know if I'm in Mission, Kansas, or Missouri. You know, sometimes people think that they can't understand me. Well, I can't understand the spaghetti hoop around here. It's incredibly exciting and mystical, I will say. And this is where we met, at the Overland Park Unity Church.
Right, I'm visiting from Nashville.
And I'm visiting from Fort Wayne, Indiana.
And here we are.
That's how they all unfold, Karen. Every episode. Spontaneous. Without fear. And with our wings.
So, when I first started noticing this happening, I went to where I usually go, which is a place of deep, dark negativity and a place of great anger at God. And there I was again, railing at God, saying, you know what? This really sucks. I mean, I may have been complaining to you before about some of the other stuff in my life, but this really stinks. And this is not fair. What is fair about this? And it's only because of my unity teachings. Yes, I believe in a kind and loving God. Okay, help me figure this one out then. I could not come up with a way to justify those two things. Kind and loving God, what's happening to my mother. And I found the answer, what I believe is the answer. And it was given to me in a song. I think I just ought to sing it for you, that's all. This is the woman who had all the answers, the one I would lean on for comfort, for strength. She's never forgotten one grandchild's birthday. Now she can't remember my name. And it makes me so angry. I shake my fist and cry out to the heavenly one. Why would you play such a cold-hearted trick? I thought your job was to love. And the answer came down from above. She's gonna fly when her time here is through. First she'll have to let go of some things she can't use. 'Cause people and places, memories and faces are just way too heavy, it seems, to carry on angels' wings. This is the woman who saw things so clearly, the one who could pick out one crumb on the floor. She saw through a white lie, saw me through love's eyes. She hardly can see anymore. And it makes me so sad, and it just isn't fair. Why should so much be taken away? But when I cry out for all that she's lost, I silently hear someone say, she's gonna fly when her time here is through. First she'll have to let go of some things she can't use. 'Cause people and places, memories and faces are just way too heavy, it seems, to carry on angels' wings. And oh, the wonder she'll see, and I know she'll remember to watch over me. She's gonna fly when her time here is through. First she'll have to let go of some things she can't use. 'Cause people and places, memories and faces are just way too heavy, it seems, to carry on angels' wings. To carry on angels' wings. Love note. If you are going through a difficult time with one of your parents now, if you have become the parent and they the child, if they are not who they were and you find yourself confused, stressed, and angry, I understand. I know this is not easy, and it's all right, and it's perfect. Breathe. Cry. Go to a ridiculous movie. Take a walk. Find a support group. Consume moderate amounts of chocolate. Take good care of yourself. My heart is with you.
Anyway, it's been a long day for you. You've had your talk here, and
Yes, it has, and invigorating too.
lots of people come out in this city.
I know, it's lovely. I couldn't believe it.
What I think was most inviting to see was the teaching of the demonstration of one world, one dream in the spirit of unity. You did that. You talked about flight attendants.
Yes.
All I could think of was that there were angels in the seen and unseen. Would you mind sharing a bit of that?
The flight
today?
attendant?
Yes.
Sure. I talk about that God spoke to Moses through a burning bush, and that I think that in these days and times, God had to come up with a better way to get our attention. And I think that the way that God does it the most beautifully to me, the most perfectly, is when he speaks to us through flight attendants. Then I go on to explain, think about what a perfect metaphor for life, if you think about it. Buckle up, because it's going to be a bumpy ride. And then, of course, I take out
my little nausea bag, because it is sometimes nauseating. But then the most important part, which is if there are people around you who need your help, before you can help them, you must put on your oxygen mask first. And I think the first time I heard that, I went, thank you, God.
Well, it was relatively speaking to me because in what I'm doing, I had to put on my oxygen mask first before I could fly with what I'm doing and fly versus step, because that's what's happening. Now, is this how the On Angel's Wings unfolded for you? Some of this language, some of the dialogue, some of the metaphors that you used hallelujah, and I say halo, which is relative to angels, and just a different flavor of communication.
You know, the On Angel's Wings song that I wrote about my mother, who has Alzheimer's, dementia,
Yes.
is actually my first angel anything. I'm new into the angel realm, at least being aware of it. But ever since I wrote this, there are angels everywhere. It seems like I'm seeing them.
You didn't know? You didn't know that you would be serving a greater plan on a planet with the word angel?
I didn't. The word angel, I'm telling you, it's new in my life. I want to know about how did this happen for you?
Well, I will say that in the thousands of people that I've just in mere conversation in meeting as a flight attendant here today, the word angel, I haven't had two interpretations alike. They were all different. Definitely God is using the word angel or angels, I believe, on the planet to bridge, to bring them closer, to make it a safer haven. And what I also heard in your talk today, in your seminar, was the language. And this is what I'm paying attention to. You know, you talked about souls, which is angelic. You talked about grace. You talked about Jesus. And Jesus, at one time in the Word of Truth, was looked upon as being a little less than the angels. Metaphorically, I would think that would mean, and it could be anyone's interpretation, but for me, I would think that was in the consciousness or his thinking, in the way he shifted into a higher realm. You know, that was before he shifted into his higher realm. So it's all a mystery as we put these pieces together.
It certainly is, and it's a delightful mystery, however.
I put them out in kind of in the country where I live. I live out in the suburbs, and so in this independent living place where they were living, there were about 250 people in their 80s, and about 248 of them were Southern Baptists. And then there were my parents who look really Jewish. It was bad. It was bad. They got stuff slipped under their door, you know, some of the same stuff like, you know, don't you know you're going to hell? And I was okay until the day that this 6-foot-tall woman got my little mother, who's about not 5 feet, by the shoulders and said, don't you know Jesus is waiting for you? Don't you know Jesus is waiting for you? And my little mother is there going. At that moment, I determined, you know, there's something wrong with this. This is actually abuse. This is religious abuse. The fact that people can use this incredibly kind, amazing teacher, Jesus, and beat up my parents with him and beat me up with him, it's not cool and it's not okay. And this is not the Jesus of my understanding, and I know that he would appreciate this song. You know, as I study the man, I think he said, love thy neighbor, not club thy neighbor. Didn't he? This is my friend Ed Tossing, music director at Unity of Chicago, playing everything. Remember those I'm one of them, a member of the tribe. I never knew how true oppression felt until I moved into the Bible Belt. 'Cause down here there is a group I've come to dread. They look at me and see horns on my head. Whatever happened to live and let live? They know not what they do. Please help me forgive. Oh no, here comes the Jesus Club. Help me, Lord, they're gonna beat me up. They're using his name and my Father's above. It's gonna hurt. Here comes the Jesus Club. I can tell some of you have been beaten too. I try to tell them there are many paths. They smile that knowing smile and laugh that laugh. And then I tell them God and I are fine, and that I talk to her all the time. Oh no, here comes the Jesus Club. Help me, Lord, they're gonna beat me up. They're using his name and my Father's above. It's gonna hurt. Here comes the Jesus Club. Play a little, Ed. So when I've argued till my face turns blue, my final answer, here's what you do. You keep your God who'd fry his kids in hell. I'll stick with mine who thinks we're all just swell. Uh-oh, here comes the Jesus Club. Help me, Lord, they're gonna beat me up. They're using his name and my Father's above. It's gonna hurt. Here comes the Jesus Club. And I suspect he doesn't like it much when they beat you with the Jesus Club. Hey, look, I know you guys mean well and everything, but here comes the Jesus Club. Oh, this is gonna smart. Ooh, ooh, ee. Oh, here it comes. Ooh, ah, ooh, ooh, ee, ooh. Thank you. Okay, I do have that on a CD single. By the way, I can't put it on any of my albums. But just for my Unity friends.
That's perfect. The divine plan defines itself. There's no script. No script in today's message. No script in this episode. I tell you, everything that comes through us here is divinely scripted, and that was the most magnificent way of creatively expressing your angelic realm. How long did it take you to prepare this piece that we just watched? Ooh. To some, they think, oh, they blink their eyes and voila, but that's not the case.
No, and that's actually, I touched on that in my workshop today, that sometimes with artistic people think, oh, well, you don't work, you know. Because, no, the truth is I'm not sitting at a desk working, but I write songs, I get inspired, and I do a lot of co-writing, which is really, it's a beautiful thing to me, because truly a song goes to way different places than it would go if I sat down to write it myself, when the two of us get in a room.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a really magical process.
I'd love to try that.
We should.
I'd love to try that. Well, I wouldn't know unless I experienced
No.
that with you, Karen. Can
There
we
you
do
go.
that?
Sure.
Now you instilled another mystery to me to see how that could work. Well, how would it work? Just a little overview for that, for anyone out there who's thinking about songwriting.
Oh, my. Well, there are lots of songwriting teachers better than I. But all I know is if you're open, if you've done your homework, you know, I have certainly learned the craft of songwriting, and I have a music background. But then if you just open up your heart and mind and allow yourself to be spoken to. I mean, I was in a great deal of pain about my mother, and I didn't know the answer. And I literally said a prayer before my friend Jason and I went in to write this song. And I said, I need help. I need to write a song that helps me understand how to deal with my mother's situation. And this is what we were saying.
Well, one thing that I think is so eloquent about this is that the message and songs and inspirations are on a CD in a book.
Yeah.
That's up to the minute. And I say Spirit has its own way of marketing it through you, because I think that it was unique and attractive. And that's what attracted me to you today. I know it was. And it's active. It's active. It's alive. It's real. And if everyone sees behind us here today, we're at the Unity Overland Park.
Right.
And we're right in front of the bookstore that has many inspirations to aspire, all written by angels
Yeah.
like you. Yes, I'm so
you.
honored to be in your presence.
And me and yours. Thank you.
Yes. So where are you going from here, Karen?
Back to Nashville, back home, and then I have some keynotes coming up in various parts. I'm doing some keynotes for hospice and a few for American Businesswomen's Association here and there.
Did you know that the Nashville has a very good access station there?
No, I didn't.
Yes, they do. I believe I don't want to say what it's not CAN. Or maybe it is CAN, C-A-N. I believe that's it, yes. And this show can be aired there.
Well, that's great.
It is great. And I'm looking forward to sharing with everybody out there in our one world, one dream, in the spirit of unity, in its demonstration here today. I'm so honored to be a guest here at Unity and on my tour. And it's almost time to end the show, Karen.
Well, that's sad, but may I mention that if people would like to find my CD book, they can come to www.karentaylorgood.com.
Karen, you taught me something today. You taught me to say yes this week. Would you mind saying something about that before we end the show?
When you buy this book, you will get the entire story of how saying yes to life totally changed my life, totally changed my life. I was a struggling, unknown songwriter going broke, and because I said yes to life, I ended up with a Grammy nomination, a nice big contract, and the rest is history.
It truly has been history.
Yeah.
Celebrating life, huh?
Yeah.
Yes. Well, and I think by asking you to be on another episode of Angels Talk in our soul relationships, you had to say yes.
Of course.
That's just how it happened. And that was very fun. It was a gift in my life today.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Now, would you help me end the show?
I will.
It's real easy.
What do we do?
There's 4 words, and I know that you can express it in whatever fashion you give yourself permission. The words
Yes.
are divine love and holy kisses.
Aww.
Yeah. I'll go ahead and tell everyone. Thank you all for stopping, looking, and listening in our divine appointment here today on another episode of Angels Talk in a soul relationship with the one, the only, Karen Taylor Good. And we're here to say
Help me.
divine love,
Divine love
and holy kisses.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And I look forward to having you back on the show again.
Thank you, Sandra. It was great.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody out there, for watching. See you next time.
I am Access Fort Wayne.
I am Access Fort Wayne.
I am Access Fort Wayne.
I'm Access Fort Wayne.
I am Access Fort Wayne.
I am Access Fort Wayne.
I am Access Fort Wayne.
I'm Access Fort Wayne.